Hello, online pipe community. Ethan, Parsimonious Piper here. And today I am with Alec at CigarVice. Alec, how's it going?
Good. It's good. Been having a good day. Good day so far.
Well, let's just dive right in. And first, I told you the wrong order. I think we'll do some housekeeping first. In
Okay.
a, in a one star pipe by Lee, one of the rarest, these low end one stars, I really hard to find. I've got some Hearth and Home Viprati. What have
Oh,
you got
nice.
going?
So today I'm enjoying it's a custom poker from Southern Roots Pipes. Had this commissioned not too long ago. It's a nice little purple stain on
Mhm.
there. And in it I have a little custom mixture that I made just for today. Um, I know I'll be heading inside after this, so I want it to smell pretty decent. So I've got some Rivertown Tobacco Works Conspiracy, a little bit of Lane 1Q, and I added a little bit of Colt Blood Red Moon to this.
Ah,
So
okay.
a little
So,
vanilla and cherry going on.
yeah. All right. Now, tell us about yourself, Alec. Where you live, what you do, what makes you tick.
So I am in the central Alabama area. I've been here for the most part my entire life. I I'm a member of the Air National Guard, so I've been to Texas, I've been to Mississippi, been to a different. I've lived in those areas for short amount of time, and it's really where I learned about these hobbies down in Texas. And so I started with cigars, and that's because I joined the military when I was 18. And at that time, you couldn't drink, but we could smoke tobacco.
Hmm.
And I had my very first cigar with some of my buddies down in Texas after we graduated from our tech school. I originally worked on jet engines on fighters, and so that was a really cool job to have.
I bet.
And we celebrated with cigars. We loved them. And then within a couple months, the legal age changed to 21. So I didn't have any cigars for a while. And I got back into the hobby, I think about 4 years ago, and then slowly made my way to pipe tobacco.
Okay. Yeah, I think folks might be curious why you've got CigarVice
Right.
when most of your now you've done a fair number, even in the short
Mhm.
time you've been presenting, of cigar videos.
Right.
I, maybe 50-50, something
I,
like that.
I think maybe 75% of my videos have been pipe related.
Have they?
Mhm. And that all started, my parents used to live out at the lake, and this was shortly after I chose, maybe a year after I stopped drinking. And we were out there, and I had brought some cigars to smoke with everyone around a campfire. And my parents had some friends over, and they said, "Oh yeah, Alex, a connoisseur of cigars. He doesn't drink. That's his only vice." And so Cigar Vice
Gotcha.
kind of took off.
And,
And then,
and it makes perfect sense. Now, I have to ask you, being in
mhm.
Alabama, is it Auburn or the Tide?
I, my family, it's split. My parents, they're huge Auburn fans. The rest of my family, they're Bama fans. But even then, that's split because my family comes from Kentucky, and so when it's basketball, they're
Yeah.
big Wildcats fans. And personally, my wife, she's a big Gators fan, and so I just cheer for my wife's team. And she loves basketball. Went to college playing basketball, so.
Oh, really?
hmm And so she was very happy last year when the Gators won it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh, well, when I first when I was in grad school, was back in the early '90s, and the Gators were smoking hot back then too.
Yep.
I don't think they won it all, but I know one year they made it to a Final Four while I was in school,
hmm
and yeah, that and back then, well, and you still do. The truth is, I'm a Tide fan and went to Vanderbilt for grad school, so
Yeah.
there are certain teams that we hate. However,
Right.
anytime an SEC school is playing a team that's outside the SEC, yeah,
Hmm.
you close ranks and you root for family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I will say, Florida and Auburn, football wise, they haven't been having a great time here recently.
Hmm. Well, and Vanderbilt, who knew? You
Hmm.
know, a 10-win season. Wow. I
Right.
mean, that's just that's unheard of. Um, uh, the basketball team started out hot this year, but we've kind of
Hmm.
faltered lately. We've been a
Yeah.
50-50 team. But yeah, who knew we'd ever have an actually good football team,
Right.
you know? But so we talked a little bit about how you got into pipes. What um, what are your favorite genres of pipe tobacco right now?
Well, right now, I know I started with, aromatics, and I had a couple English blends, and those are what really, at first, I didn't really know what I was doing. And so aromatics weren't the best start.
Hmm.
And so I didn't really taste anything. And then when I tried my first English blends, I was like, wow, this tastes pretty good. And so I started with Englishes, and I think right now I've been on a little bit of an everything kick. I know I really like the new, well, at least the new iteration, I guess, of Mississippi River that's being produced
Yeah,
for
I
Seattle
haven't
Pipe
tried
Club.
any of the new stuff yet.
And I never had the previous
Okay,
blends. So this is my first experience, and I really love it. I got some plum pudding as well. It's a great blend, but Mississippi River is probably one of my go-tos right now. I know I've been trying a few new blends here and there, and so I'm really just trying to get a taste for everything still.
sure. Well, and that never ends. I mean,
Hmm.
for a lot of us anyway. Some folks will settle into a handful of blends, but there's just so much out there to enjoy and to sample.
Hmm.
I like a lot of us. If you started out on arrows, that almost ended my
Right.
smoking journey before it began. And Balkans were the thing that saved me. So yeah,
Really.
that I love that heavy smoky flavor.
Hmm.
I would bet that coming from cigars, that was really attractive the first time you had an English blend because
Absolutely.
you have all these flavors coming
Yeah.
in that yeah hot air is what I thought of aromatics when I started.
Absolutely. And I want to say, as far as cigars go, I think what led me to pipe tobacco was the Deadwood cigar line. I've heard that they are made with pipe tobaccos, or at least
Huh.
the tobaccos are cured the same way.
Yeah,
And so I tried those and I loved them. And I was like, oh, these are made with pipe tobacco. That's interesting. Maybe I will like that. And so I kind of dove in head first, and I haven't looked back.
well, you got a nice custom cob there. uh, have you have you gravitated toward any particular pipe brand or type of pipe, whether it's material or shape?
I would have to say that a vast majority of my collection are cobs. I've got a lot of Missouri Meerschaum. They're affordable,
Hmm.
and so that's very appealing to me. I just love the way they smoke. I've got some old briars that I got from my grandfather. I've got some gray bows. I've got some Jobies and some GBDs and a couple of pipes that he used to smoke,
Yeah,
which I didn't realize he smoked a pipe
that's
until
pretty
after
cool
he
to have
passed.
his stuff.
And speaking of that, it's really cool that we're doing this because when I first got those pipes, I was like, how in the world there was so much cake in the bowls. They were in like really bad shape. I was like, how in the world can I, clean these up? And I watched a couple of your videos in
Aha.
that process. And I ended up I got a reamer. I did like the salt bath trick and
Hmm.
the stems, they were super oxidized, so I let them soak in some OxyClean for a while. And so it's really cool that we're doing this because
Yeah.
way before I ever presented, I did watch several of your videos and some reviews and whatnot.
I'm tickled to hear that that helped. Uh,
Yep, it did. Definitely did.
it's funny. The that one video, the easy cleanup, estate pipe cleanup video that I did,
Hmm.
by far, that is the one video that has the most views. I think
Yep.
right now it's up around 50,000
That's
views.
awesome.
And the next closest video I've got has like 500.
Really.
You know, so yeah, that one video seems to have struck a chord with a bunch of people. It's crazy the number of views it
Yeah.
has. Um,
But you've got some great content out there. I know whenever I got some Hearth and Home Vermont meat candy
yeah,
right here, whenever I first bought it, I know you posted video. I don't know if you were a big fan of it or not. I've probably had it once or twice in the past 2 years,
it
but
surprised me that I liked it.
mm,
I was not expecting to. Uh,
that's what it was then.
yeah, it surprises me that, but anything that's got bacon in it
Hmm.
can't go wrong, right?
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with bacon, that's for sure.
You know, you grew up in the South too. You put bacon in everything.
Everything. I make smoked mac and cheese from
Hmm.
time to time, and I'll cook up like a pound or so of bacon and chop it up and throw it all in there. It's not good for you, but it's good for you.
Oh, it's good for the soul.
Right.
I'm doing a mess of collard greens this afternoon,
Hmm.
and you can't do that without either fatback or bacon.
Right.
One of the two.
Yep.
So, but no, that uh, cobs. There are guys out there that simply will not smoke a cob. Truck and Piper Bob, I am looking at you. We're going to get you in a cob one of these days. I I happen to love them. I mean,
Yep.
they're like you said, they're cheap. Uh, Even their newer ones that are up in the $30 to $40
Hmm.
range. That's still a cheap pipe. Um,
Absolutely.
and now I have heard some complaints about quality recently. I actually prefer the older, cheaper ones with the soft plastic mouthpieces
Oh, really?
because I clench, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
I can sit there with a soft plastic bit in my mouth forever, and
Right.
it's easy on the teeth.
Hmm.
But and I've got cobs that have been going for years and years.
Really.
They're not nothing even close to a burnout. My yard pipe, for example, that'll get smoked 3 4 hours at a time, just continuously when I'm doing any kind of yard work.
Hmm.
That one's nowhere even close to burning through.
Yep.
So I, I'm I'm irritated with you, Bob. We're gonna get you, we are going to get you in a cob one of these
He's definitely missing out.
days. But yeah, I absolutely love. Now I do think Missouri Meerschaum was smart to move the direction with the Vermont freehand
Mm,
acrylic stems and everything because people
absolutely.
are buying them for cobs anyway. Why
Yeah.
not just why not just sell them that way and up your profit a little bit.
Yep. But even then, I've got the right above me. You probably see it right there. I've got my
Yeah.
MacArthur.
Hmm.
Uh, that was only $30, if that, for such a massive pipe, and
Uh-huh.
it smokes like a dream. Now it smokes like a cigar in time, if
Right.
you really want to sit there and smoke the whole thing.
Yep. That it does. Okay. Now you've been at this about a year
Um, Piping or the channel.
piping.
Piping, I'd say I got into it maybe 2 years ago and I set
Okay.
it down for a while. And then probably within the past 6 months to a year, I really got back into it because originally, like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh, I'd rather just smoke a cigar. There's too many moving parts. And
Right.
but now I want to say there was a small batch that had been released. Uh, Maybe it was Folklore by Cornell and Deal, and I saw that and it was sold out, and I was like, oh, makes me think of I've got a cousin that he started piping when I did, and he's quit since then, but he started out with From Beyond in 2023 and just
Hmm.
raved about it. Raved about it. And I was always wanting to try those small batches. And so folklore piqued my interest. I never got any. And then I want to say Sun Bear ended up releasing and the Navy cask.
Hmm.
And I really wanted to try it, so I bought myself a tin. I probably smoked it once or twice. Wasn't me personally, I wasn't very impressed. But after that, I was like, maybe I'm just doing this wrong. I need to do some more research, try some more blends. And before you know it, I've got a cellar and I've got more jars than I'll probably ever smoke. And I really just went head first.
Well, speaking of your cellar, on average, how many bowls do you smoke a day or a week?
I typically only smoke on the weekends. And so if it's a weekend, if it's during the day, I I really don't smoke during the day because just busy.
Hmm.
My daughter, uh, I've got a daughter, I've got a wife. My daughter, she's got autism, and so that's a lot
Hmm.
dealing with. And so I'm always trying to help out the wife when I can. And so we're very busy, always keeping an eye on her. And my wife, she's a saint, always running my daughter around, doing her different therapies, this and that. And so, really and truly, the time that my wife and I have time for ourselves is typically in the late evening once our daughter's down for bed.
Sure.
And so, I'll probably have one or two bowls a day on the weekends if I get a chance. Unless I'm on night shift because I work a rotating shift and swings and whatnot. If the family's sleeping, and I'm up all night, then I'll probably have several bowls.
Yeah, and see, it's exactly the opposite for me. I do most of my smoking during the week, and
Really?
yeah, and it's actually a rare Saturday like today or Sunday that I do get a bowl in. Now, I've sometimes if I'm doing my now that I started the Bible in a Year series and I'm trying
Hmm.
to put those out on Sundays, uh,
Right.
I'll have a quick bowl. Uh,
Hmm.
but a lot of times, yeah, my weekends are tied up doing well right now watching basketball.
Right.
Quite
Right. That's
frankly.
my wife. My wife is right there with you. She's inside right now.
All right. What brought you to, it's a two-parter. What brought you to the YTPC as a viewer? And then what got you interested in making videos?
So, as a viewer, I think what brought me was just the when it comes to cigars, it's a cut and a light, and that's pretty much it. But with pipe tobacco, you've got different packing techniques, you've got different cadences that you've got to think about, like whenever you start out. And so there was just so much information that I felt like I needed. And so that's how I was introduced to the YTPC. Just how do I do this? Type it in, and here's a content creator that's got massive amounts of videos. And, you know, I watched your channel. I've watched Hobbiton Piper,
Hmm.
Mutton Chop, and tons of other presenters. And then I think somewhere along the lines, I started buying new blends, and I wanted to see what everybody else's thoughts were on those blends before I took a dive into those.
Hmm.
And as a newer piper, I noticed a lot of the reviews that I was watching mentioned, oh yeah, you can taste the Perique, or you can taste the Virginias, or this or that. And for me, I was like, what does that mean? I was like, I'm new to this. Like, what does Perique taste like? What does this taste like? And so, what really got me into the YTPC was I'm new to the hobby as a whole. You know, a year really actually piping.
Hmm.
I was like, maybe I can explain in a beginner's terms what certain blends taste like.
Hmm.
And so that's what really started it all for me. And
No.
then I was fortunate enough, my very first video, I reviewed Cornell and Deal's From Beyond, this most recent release.
Hmm.
And right before that, my cousin, he raved about it, like I said, and I really wanted to give it a try. And so I found a tin. I it made it to my doorstep, and within like a couple days, they announced that they were going to be releasing it again. I was like, oh, this would be perfect. I can review this, share my thoughts, and then it'll be coming out in just a couple of days. And I was like, it's just perfect timing.
Yeah.
Let's.
Now, have you bought just blending components to taste to see?
So I've purchased Perique. I've got Dark Fired Kentucky. I've got some Latakia. I've gotten a couple different Virginias. And so there was a short while where I did try just smoking the blending components themselves. I don't think I've done it enough because I still, when it comes to that portion, like knowing what different components taste like, I
Hmm.
think my skills are definitely lacking. But something like Latakia, that's a no-brainer. I think everybody can
Sure.
pinpoint that.
Hmm. Well,
But yeah,
and I have almost no sense of smell, so going through individual components was really helpful for me, uh,
right.
so that I do have a little better ability to pick out at least what the dominant leaf is,
Hmm.
if there is one. A truly well blended kitchen sink blend, that just it throws me.
Just, yep, yesterday, my blend, there was so much going on, but I couldn't, I really couldn't pinpoint what exactly I was tasting. I knew it was sweet. It was fruity, but there was so much going on. I was at a loss.
Well, for any of our viewers who didn't catch that video, tell them about your. This is he's talking about a Franken blend.
Yep, a Franken blend. So yeah, whenever I first got into piping, 2 years ago, I had watched someone's video that he said that at the end of the year, he has a jar of all of his trimmings and he will send them off to friends. And I was like, oh, that's a really cool idea. So instead of throwing this out or putting it back in the tin, let's just throw it in a big mason jar
Hmm.
and see what it tastes like at the end of the year. And then I took my break from piping and I came back and I've probably put 50 different blends in that jar. And so it's about 2 years worth of pipe tobacco all in one. I meant to try it on New Year's. I didn't get to it. And so I thought yesterday, International Pipe Smoking Day, would be a perfect opportunity for that. And I don't think any two bowls of that blend will ever be the same.
Yep. No, that's probably true. I know Mike, Cane Rod Piper. I think if I recall correctly, he starts a new jar every year.
Hmm,
And is it English blends that he doesn't put in? I forget.
really?
There's something he doesn't put in because it tends to dominate, and I could see
Hmm.
a lot of Kia type blend doing that. I put everything in mine, and I don't start it over every year. It grows and grows, and
I heard someone call it an infinity jar.
mhm.
'Cause I guess it's constantly
Yeah,
changing. You're adding more to it. So I might look into doing that, but I'll need a bigger jar.
yeah.
Definitely.
Well, if you do enjoy English blends, one of the ones that I recommend to people, if you want just a cheap, everyday, all day type blend, Pipes and Cigars has Best of the Rest, which is they put basically the remnants of aromatics together, but they
Yeah.
also have best of the rest English, where they do the same.
Really?
Where they do the same thing with all of their English blends. You know, whatever is left over after a blending and tinning session, they throw into a big vat and tumble it all together. And it I was really surprised. Somebody sent me a small bag of it, and I'm like, okay, but it was really good. It
I,
actually is I, it's nondescript. It's every English blended together. So what you
yeah.
really get for the most part is the Latakia.
And
But
it's funny that you say that because yesterday I have been trying to get, and I apologize if the pronunciation is wrong, but Grand Croupier,
mm, hmm
I that stuff just goes so quickly. I've been trying to get my hands on it, and it's similar, like I guess the sweepings of all these different blends, and I finally I've had email notifications within 2 minutes that stuff's sold out because it's such a great price.
yeah,
I had gotten some of, I think it's called Graveyard. I think that's their English
hmm,
variation, and I got a half pound for $8. But when I was researching like reviews on it, they were like a great comparison to this is Best of the Rest. And I was like, oh, maybe that's easier to acquire than this stuff because you got to be, release it weeks at a time
yeah,
and you've got a 5 minute period to purchase or it's sold out. It's just insane.
yeah. That no, that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the same. I don't chase small batches or limited releases. If I
Yeah.
happen to get some, great. If I don't, there's enough good stuff out there that
Yeah.
I'm not really missing anything.
Yeah. I just happened to have my phone in my hand and I got an email notification. I was like, whoop. I bought a half pound and by the time I loaded my screen back up, it was sold out.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh my goodness, if I hadn't had my phone right then and there. So I will definitely check out Best of the Rest.
That's for the rest English for the English version. They have those the two varieties.
Hmm.
Yeah, really cheap. Um, I the last time I had anything that was really scrap was 5 years ago when we did a tour at the Richmond Pipe Show of the Sutliff factory.
Hmm.
Before they closed down, and while we're wandering through there, there was a big tub at the end of one of the tables, and the guy was just tossing these chunks of tobacco in there. And I said, "Well, what is that?" And he goes, "Oh, well, this is just the scrap. What do you do with it? Oh, we throw it away."
What?
You do what exactly?
Wow.
And I said, "Well, can I have some?" He said, "Sure, sure, grab a few." And it was tightly packed plugs.
Really?
Yeah. And now I don't know if they were destined to be chopped back up and spun back out into ribbon, or
Hmm.
I have no idea. But it was mostly, this one was mostly Virginia, but aged pressed into plugs. I'm not a Virginia smoker, but I really enjoyed it. But yeah,
Really?
I, the the remnants that you scrap, you really you pitch that.
Yep.
Pipes and Cigars doesn't, at least with their their Englishes and
Yep.
aromatics. They give you the best of the rest, and
Yep.
it really is. It's a pretty decent blend.
I'll definitely have to check that out because I definitely don't mind the affordable options of anything.
Sure. Yep. Um, let me turn this just a little bit. Other than outside of repairing fighter jets, um, what are your hobbies other than pipe smoking? What makes you tick?
Other than piping, I try to play golf. That's I'm not very good. Um,
That's me.
I've got like a starter. I think it's a top flight golf set. My brother, he's really good, and I haven't been in a while because I've just been busy,
Mhm.
but it's so much fun, even though I'm not good at all. Then I spend a lot of time with family. I'm always pretty much every opportunity I can. I'm with the wife and the daughter,
Mhm.
and I'm young, so whenever I'm on night shifts and things like that, I'll play my video games. But really and truly, I think my main hobbies right now would be um, piping. I love smoking foods, cooking and grilling. I love it.
You're from the South. You have to love
Yep.
smoking, not just tobacco, but yeah.
Yep.
Anything that used to move on its own can be smoked.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I love that. And part of that was I grew up eating a lot of dry foods, a lot of dry proteins, steaks, burgers, you name it. And it just, I wanted to be good at grilling or smoking. And that really, my family's very competitive now. Anytime we've got get-togethers and somebody's grilling something or bringing something, it's like, well, mine's better. I don't say that. My brother says that. And yeah, so it's all a competition now. And I think from my wife's her own words, I'm winning the competition, but I won't tell anybody else that.
Now, around here, and I smoke a ton of them. Around here, the king is pork shoulders. What
Yep.
what do you guys smoke down there?
So I do ribs. I do pork shoulder as well. I I smoke a lot of chicken. I've done whole chickens. I've done turkeys. I've
Hmm.
done a lot of side dishes. Uh I've smoked cookies before, which was interesting. I made cornbread cookies and I smoked them and they were actually pretty good. I've done I'm really always trying to find something new that I can just add smoke to. I've done smoked cream cheese, the mac and cheese, like I mentioned.
Well, I'm going to do a plug for a completely unrelated website. I
Mhm.
do not have any financial interest in them. Have you checked out AmazingRibs.com?
I have not.
You have to. You like to smoke stuff. This is the barbecue and grilling website.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. The guy who started it a couple decades ago, back when the web was the only thing, and we didn't have the Facebook and YouTube and all. Nicknamed Meathead is well known in the smoke barbecue competition world as an author, and but the website is phenomenal. Um, the He's even got an MIT engineer that works for the website who goes in and designs experiments to
Really?
to prove or debunk all of these things that people think they know about grilling and smoking meats.
Then that would be right up my alley. A website like that. I'll probably check that out right after this. And
I can spend hours on there even when the weather's too bad to get out and smoke stuff. It's just, yeah, it's phenomenal.
and that's one thing about me. I am all worried about the science behind grilling and smoking, and then I keep a very close eye on temperatures,
Yep.
and I'm doing all the prep I possibly can. And
And
I
this
get me.
MIT engineer will tell you why things work. Like,
That's really cool.
when you're browning meat, the Maillard reaction,
Hmm.
he goes into detail on how to get that and get it right across the whole surface of the meat and that sort of thing. Phenomenal. Just absolutely
Thank
phenomenal.
you for sharing that. That sounds like that would be a game changer for
It,
me.
it certainly was for me. And in fact, I used one of those vertical drums, the pit barrel cooker,
Mm,
um, instead of an offset. And I used to do a lot of smoking on a Weber kettle.
mm.
Uh,
Yep.
it was this website that first introduced me to the vertical drum concept. And back when the pit barrel company first came out,
Yep.
oh, I don't know, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, uh, they were the Amazing Ribs website was real hot on them because it was a completely new way to do smoking.
Yeah.
Set it and
Mm,
forget it easy, man. You hang your meat over your charcoal and then walk away, come back
yeah.
6 hours later, it's done.
And see, I've got an easy bake oven. I've got a pellet smoker. I've got a Pit Boss.
Yep,
But I I was thinking about this. I think my one of my last videos when you mentioned that it from you mentioned where you were from and that you can never go wrong with putting smoke on something.
that's right.
And I was like, in a way, it's my parsimonious Pit Boss because I won my Pit Boss in a
Oh,
raffle.
nifty.
It's $1,000 pellet smoker
Yeah,
that I didn't pay anything for. And so I was like, I would love to have an offset or something like that one day, but for free, I'm
right.
gonna roll with the easy bake oven for the time being.
Yeah, I'm always impressed by the guys that have the pull behind uh, cast iron,
Yep.
massive offset cookers and everything. But
Yep.
yeah, I'll stick to my poor man's
Yeah.
pit barrel.
Right.
You
It's like
know,
take a look at my smoker and it's a 20-foot trailer and
right.
yeah.
Well, and we've actually got a couple of guys, at least in the community. One of them hasn't posted in a while, but he was a competitive barbecuer and he hasn't competed in a while, but has that whole trailer set up and everything. And
Really?
yeah, and yeah, boy, yeah, the Nashville Mafia, one half of the Nashville Mafia web channel that miss you guys. Hey, guys, yeah, you ought to post something. Let us know you're still alive. But yeah, he was a
Hmm.
competitive barbecuer.
That's really cool. And I like seeing that from the YTPC, like not necessarily like just piping in general. I just like watching everybody's content. I'll see people grilling from time to time, and I'm all about it. Or just people just rambling. I love that too.
Hmm.
So
And some guys are better at it than others.
absolutely.
Some of your more entertaining ramblers, it's funny. I I can listen to them for easily 20, 30 minutes, and at the end of it, they haven't said anything, and I've enjoyed every second of it. Okay, winding down. What is and answer either flavor of this question. What are the best or worst things about where you live? Or if someone were to visit you in central Alabama, what's the one thing they should not miss?
Mm, that is a great question because I would say the worst thing about where I live is, as of right now, there's not a whole lot of things you can do. However, we are in such a great location that a couple hours this way, you can go to Muletown Pipe Show. A couple hours this way, you can go to the beach. A couple hours this way, you're in the mountains. Here, like we're in a great spot to where you're just a couple hours away from all these amazing destinations.
Hmm.
But in my area, as far as activities, there's not a whole lot to do. I'm not in Montgomery. I'm in more of a small town area, and so really, if you want to go do something, you gotta just mark your calendar and hope that the city's putting something on, like a festival or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Similar for me. I live out in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina, and you have to drive into Raleigh or that kind of thing to do anything.
now we've got a lot of great food in the area. Um, we've got some small town restaurants. We've got a great barbecue joint in Montgomery called Dreamland Barbecue.
Hmm.
Yep, yep, so good.
Yes.
Very tasty. And that's one big thing. Like you never run out of options of food in the area. So that's great. Normally, whenever we have visitors come in, whether it be at Maxwell or somewhere, like what do we do? It's always check out this restaurant, check out that restaurant. Never a specific activity.
Hmm. Well, I can remember growing up in Montgomery, even back in the 70s,
Hmm.
before being a foodie was really a thing.
Yeah,
My dad had located some good Polynesian restaurant, a Chinese place. I mean, there was stuff there. There was good stuff there,
absolutely.
even 50 years ago.
And it's just a melting pot of different cultures and foods. Like every day, I feel like I'm learning about a new restaurant. And especially working at Maxwell, working with, active duty members that have been all over the world.
Hmm.
They're like, oh, you've got to check out this really great Jamaican restaurant right down the road. It's like, we've got one of those here. It's like, well, what do I order? And they're like, I'll show you. And Mediterranean restaurants. A buddy brought in some shawarma the other
Hmm.
day. I was like, what in the world is this? I tried it and I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just tons of different food in the area. That's the big thing. But
All right. Final question. And this is one of those that puts you on the spot just a little.
mhm.
Do you have any words of wisdom or parting words aimed at the YouTube pipe community in general?
Any words of wisdom? Hmm, that's a really, really good question. If I had any words of wisdom, especially if you're starting out, I wanted to buy tins, a bunch of different tinned tobacco, and I found a lot of blends I was not a fan of. And I could have saved a lot of money had I just gone with the bulk option. And so, words of wisdom, if you're just starting out, don't be afraid to try bulk blends. Super affordable, and it's an easy way to know if you like it or not. And you only have to buy like an ounce, if that.
Hmm.
And then, hmm, any other words of wisdom? Branch out. I love trying different things. I, my family makes fun of me all the time. I'm always trying something weird, whether it be food or drink. And so when it comes to pipe tobacco, don't be afraid to pick up that weird sounding aromatic or,
Like Captain Black Grape.
yep, yep. That's one I always wanted to try. So it wasn't in production. So that's what brought me to Visions of Cellophase.
There you go. All right, folks. Well, I got to tell you, I have really, really enjoyed our chat. Check
Yeah.
out Alec's channel,
Oh,
Cigar
thank
Vice.
you.
It'll be linked down below in the bucket so that you can find him really easily. I think you'll enjoy it just as much as I have. So until you have that chance, light something you like, unless it's Captain Black Grape.
You're right.
Enjoy your afternoon.